I'm Jamal Crook, and I feel a need to give away some tools that are going to help parents, teachers, students, whoever you are, be extremely successful where you are and where you're at, because I feel like education in itself is not doing a good enough job in preparing students not only for life, but for a life that will exist in the next 20 years. And also I feel like there are skill sets that we have to pay for after we graduate high school that are more entrepreneurial and innovative in their methods that we're just not getting in the school system right now. So I want to help produce a more articulate version of the average student that's currently graduating, and also give them some tools to be extremely successful and entrepreneurial.
All right, that person you just heard from was Jamal Crook. He is the principal at the NLT Academy in Tampa Bay, Florida. The thing I like about Jamal is he has been focused on providing innovation and entrepreneurial skills to kids in the inner city. Jamal kind of joined up on our team 2 years ago, and what I just love about his approach is being able to make sure that they get these kind of skills in a practical way. Some of the feedback that we've gotten is that StartEdUp is great for some schools, but not all. And one of the pockets that we've found that really needs it, but has had a hard time, is the inner city schools. So many times they're focused on good behavior and compliance, which I understand why, that sometimes they overlook some of these skills. Please take a listen to what Jamal is doing. We're gonna have a series, we're gonna have about another 5 or 6 videos after this, but this guy is really preparing his students, and now as a principal, so I'm excited, on a future, as he puts it, that exists. Check it out.
About 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago now, Don Wettrick came to my district and did a professional development. I was super excited. I told him, I said, I want to do this in my class. And being as nice as he possibly could, he probably heard it all the time. He basically told me, call me in a year. So I got his number and I called him and I tracked some data on my students. My students started performing better as a result of key principles, because here's the deal. There was a major disconnect with what my kids were able to do and the skill sets that they had, and the disconnect between his students, right? So his students were more primed and ready for just implementation full on, but my kids lack these skill sets. So I started incorporating key principles like collaboration and different things inside of my lesson plans, and then pushing them or their ideas into implementation. And what I found was that 90% of them would pass all their classes with a C or better. They scored higher on student achievement tests. They came to school more, they were more engaged, and then they started doing things within the community at an extremely high level. So after seeing that, I called Don and I was like, hey, here's what I've been doing. And he was like, well, we gotta have you up. So I'm here now, we're recording these videos, and I really want to take what I did in that small sample and extend it to kids who typically don't have those skill sets, and just give them the basic skill sets, and then take that use that as a platform and push them to a higher level of implementation. Notice I didn't say idea, but implementation, because the thing that I'm learning is when students implement their ideas, that's when their ideas generate income. And think about how powerful that is for somebody who comes from a low socioeconomic community. Do you know that there are a lot of athletes who probably could go play college football or play in the NFL, but they have to provide for their families? So think about a kid, right? I have a story. A kid in my school had an idea to sell fidget spinners. 1 week later, the kid, a 6th grade student now, made $250 selling fidget spinners. Right? So you think about the impact that it had on that student's life, right? Now I can do other things. Now I can come to school and just be a kid and do everything that I need to do and not have to worry about income. So, or I'm generating my own income, and I have to go spend 8 hours at Publix, and I don't have to depend on somebody else. You're teaching kids to take ownership. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So now I'm here with StartEdUp because I have the opportunity to reach more students and to empower more students who come from not only low socioeconomic communities, but also communities that students just need a little bit of push. So I'm here to do that. So these next 5 videos, we're going to go over a repertoire of skills, just 5 skills that I guarantee if you implement them in your life, I mean, you'll be sitting next to the person that you look up to. You'll be sitting next to people and collaborating, networking. You will find out the keys that will get you access to opportunities and make you more successful where you are, whether you work a job, whether you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, and especially if you want to be an entrepreneur. These skill sets are king in being able to implement the mindset that is needed to be successful in today's society. Remember, we just put a man on the moon in the 60s, and now we have cell phones that have more power in them. If you ask any NASA specialist or any employee at NASA, the cell phones have more power in them than the rocket ship that put the man on the moon. So consider how fast technology is adapting and the world is changing around you. The only thing that has been consistent throughout time is mindset. So listen, join us on these next videos as we talk about the mindset and the skills that are necessary to be successful in an emerging society today. Peace.